Women often find themselves caught in the web of relationships with the wrong kind of men. It's a puzzle that many struggle to solve, questioning themselves, their choices, and the patterns they seem to fall into. But why is it that women, despite their deep desire for connection and love, so often gravitate towards the very individuals who may not be good for them? The answer lies in the complexities of human attraction, the deep-seated psychological triggers, and, at times, the allure of the bad boy archetype. It's easy to point fingers, to blame women for their choices, but that would be a gross oversimplification. The truth is far more intricate. Love, as we all know, is not a simple, logical equation. It's a series of emotions, chemicals, and unconscious forces that play out within our minds and hearts, often without us even being aware. The heart wants what it wants, and sometimes it doesn't care if that choice is not the best one for long-term happiness. The reality is that women may, unknowingly, be drawn to the wrong guys because of what they represent. In many cases, it's the thrill of the chase that calls to them. There is something intoxicating about a man who seems hard to get, a man who doesn't give his heart away too easily. For some women, this challenge is irresistible. It becomes less about the person himself and more about the game, the excitement, the tension of trying to break through someone's walls. The more distant or elusive a man becomes, the more a woman may feel compelled to win him over. But this kind of pursuit often leads to heartache because the man they are chasing may never be emotionally available, and yet they find themselves entangled in the chase, unable to let go. Why is this? Why are women so often enchanted by men who are emotionally distant, who play games, or who may not be ready for a committed relationship? One reason might lie in the psychology of self-worth. Women, like all humans, need validation. They need to feel seen, heard, and valued. And sometimes, the validation that comes from winning the affection of a man who initially appears indifferent or distant can feel like a victory, as though they've earned something that not everyone can get. It's the allure of feeling special in the eyes of someone who doesn't easily give their love away. The validation they seek, however, is often short-lived, and the relationship may end up causing more pain than satisfaction. There is another layer to this. The wrong guys, those who may be emotionally unavailable or simply not right for a woman, often come with a certain level of charm. They know how to make a woman feel unique. They know how to captivate with words, and they often put on a performance that seems real. The right guy, on the other hand, might come across as boring or too good to be true. He might be reliable, caring, and affectionate, but he may lack the excitement that comes with unpredictability. Women might find themselves desiring someone who adds a bit of chaos to their life, someone who brings an edge, even if it comes at the cost of their own happiness. What makes this even more complex is that the attraction to the wrong guys is often not about the men themselves, but about what they represent. They represent freedom, passion, and the idea that they live life on their own terms. For some women, this image becomes idealized, a vision of a life they wish they could have. The fantasy of being swept off their feet, of living in the moment, of breaking the rules and feeling wild. These desires are deeply ingrained, and so, women often look for these qualities in their partners, not realizing that the very qualities they are attracted to can also lead to heartache and confusion. But this attraction is not just a surface-level issue. It's deeply tied to a woman's sense of self-worth, her upbringing, and sometimes even her unresolved emotional wounds. A woman who has not healed from past trauma or rejection may find herself constantly seeking validation from men who are not emotionally available. She may be drawn to men who remind her of past experiences, men who reflect the relationships she witnessed in her childhood or the ones she once had. Sometimes it's about familiar patterns, unhealthy patterns that feel comforting because they are known. Even if they are damaging, they are what she has learned to expect, and breaking free from that cycle can feel daunting. It's not that women are inherently attracted to toxic men, but rather that they may not be aware of the emotional triggers that draw them into these relationships. These relationships often feel exhilarating in the beginning, filled with passion, intensity, and unpredictability. But over time, the cracks begin to show. The excitement fades, and in its place a sense of confusion and pain sets in, and yet, the woman may remain stuck, unable to let go of the hope that things will change, that the man will finally be the one to offer her the love she's been searching for. But the truth is, he may never be able to give her that kind of love because he is not capable of it. and therein lies the heartache of loving the wrong guy. Love, like anything else, is complicated. It's not simply about finding the right person, it's about timing, emotional maturity, and the willingness to show up for each other in a meaningful way. Unfortunately, many women end up with men who are not ready for this kind of love, and they invest so much of themselves into these relationships, hoping for something that may never come. The wrong guy may love her in his own way, but that love is not the kind she needs to truly heal, grow, and thrive. But does this mean women should give up on love altogether? Absolutely not. The journey of loving the wrong guys is often a learning experience, a painful but necessary part of understanding what true love really looks like. Through these experiences, women learn more about themselves, about their needs, and about what it takes to build a healthy, meaningful relationship. And in doing so, they become more equipped to recognize the right kind of love when it comes along. So why do women continue to fall for the wrong guys? It can be difficult to understand, especially when it seems so clear from the outside that the relationship is not a healthy one. But often, love, or at least the idea of it, blinds women to the reality of the situation. The emotions can become so overwhelming that it's hard to see clearly, and in that moment of passion or longing, women may ignore the red flags, the signs that something is not quite right. This emotional fog can cloud judgment, making it harder to break free from the allure of a man who may be emotionally unavailable or simply not right for them. It's important to note that not all bad boys are inherently bad. Some are kind, loving, and genuine in their own way. But what makes them wrong for a particular woman is often their inability to provide the emotional support, stability, or commitment that she needs. And this is where the confusion sets in. Women might be drawn to men who are distant, who play games, who keep them on their toes. But these men are often not capable of the kind of deep, meaningful love that many women crave. The problem, of course, is that the wrong men know exactly what to say to keep a woman hooked. They know how to make her feel special, how to charm her, how to create a sense of excitement and mystery. And so, she falls for them again and again, despite the warnings. It's not always about the man, but rather about the feeling he evokes. He brings out a sense of passion, of wanting something that feels forbidden, of seeking something that feels elusive and unattainable. But in the end, the excitement fades and the reality sets in. The wrong guy may never be able to offer the emotional connection that the woman needs. He may not be ready for a relationship, or he may simply not be interested in one. And this is where the pain begins. Women who have invested so much time and energy into a relationship that is not right for them may find themselves heartbroken, disappointed, and confused. It's easy to say that women should avoid the wrong guys, but it's much more complicated than that. The emotional pull of love, even if it's not the kind of love that will last, is powerful. Women may find themselves repeatedly drawn into relationships that are not in their best interest, and it takes time, self-reflection, and sometimes painful experiences to break free from these patterns. But the journey doesn't end there. With each failed relationship, women learn more about themselves and what they truly need in a partner. They begin to recognize the importance of emotional compatibility, of mutual respect, and of shared values. They begin to understand that true love is not about excitement or passion alone, but about trust, stability, and emotional connection. And through this process, they come to realize that the wrong guy was never the real problem. The problem was not knowing what they truly needed and deserved in a partner. Love is about growth. It's about learning, evolving, and discovering what makes a relationship healthy and sustainable. It's not about finding perfection, but about finding someone who complements you. Someone who can offer the emotional support, respect, and care that you need. The journey of falling for the wrong guys, while painful, is a part of the larger journey toward understanding what true love really looks like. It becomes clear that the attraction to the wrong guys is not just about superficial characteristics. There is a deeper psychological layer that plays a significant role in shaping the choices women make in relationships. Sometimes it's a subconscious desire to fix or change someone that drives the attraction. The idea of saving someone, whether it's a man who is emotionally unavailable, rebellious, or struggling in some way, can seem appealing. It's almost as though the woman feels a sense of purpose or power in trying to heal or transform him, believing that if she can be the one to change him, then she will earn his love and devotion. This dynamic, however, often leads to disappointment. The truth is, people cannot be fixed or changed unless they are willing to do so on their own. And when a woman invests all her time, energy, and love into trying to fix someone, she may lose sight of her own needs and desires. The love that she is seeking becomes conditional, tied to her ability to fix the other person, rather than based on mutual respect and emotional connection. This creates an unbalanced relationship where one person is constantly giving, while the other is taking, without any real intention to change. Furthermore, this pattern often reflects deeper issues of self-esteem and worth. Some women may feel as though they are only worthy of love if they are needed, if they can be someone's savior. This belief can stem from childhood experiences, past relationships, or societal conditioning that tells women they must always be in the role of caregiver or nurturer. However, this dynamic can be exhausting, and over time, the woman may begin to feel unappreciated, emotionally drained, and neglected, as her own needs and desires are pushed aside in favor of the other person's struggles. It is important to recognize that loving someone who is emotionally unavailable or someone who requires constant fixing is not love. It is a form of self-sacrifice that ultimately leads to emotional depletion. True love involves both partners being willing to show up for each other, to offer care and support, but without the expectation of changing or saving the other person. Healthy love is about mutual respect, understanding, and growth, and it is rooted in an equal partnership where both individuals bring something valuable to the relationship. At times, the wrong guy may also represent something that a woman feels is missing in her own life, whether it's excitement, adventure, or freedom. Many women find themselves drawn to men who live on the edge, who seem to lead wild and carefree lives. These men can be magnetic because they represent a world of possibilities, a life that is bold, untamed, and full of adventure. It's as though they embody everything the woman may wish she could be. In a way, falling for these men is an attempt to escape the monotony of daily life or to fill a void that is felt internally. The problem, however, is that these men often fail to provide the emotional stability that women need for a healthy, lasting relationship. While they may be thrilling and exciting, they are often unreliable, unpredictable, and unwilling to settle down. As a result, the woman may find herself constantly in a state of flux, wondering if she will ever be able to get the commitment, affection, or stability that she so deeply desires. The highs of the relationship feel intoxicating, but the lows are devastating, leaving her constantly chasing after something that feels just out of reach. The desire for excitement and adventure is natural, but when it comes at the cost of emotional security and long-term happiness, it can be a dangerous cycle. Women who are constantly chasing the wrong guys often find themselves stuck in a loop of short-term relationships that don't lead anywhere meaningful. And while the thrill of the chase may feel exhilarating, it ultimately leaves them feeling empty, as the fulfillment they seek cannot be found in someone who is not willing to build something lasting with them. This longing for excitement, however, is not inherently bad. Life does need moments of passion and adventure, but when these desires are projected onto the wrong person, someone who is not aligned with your values or your long-term goals, it can lead to emotional turbulence and heartache. It's about learning to distinguish between the kind of excitement that is healthy and fulfilling and the kind that simply fills a temporary void. Part of the journey of growth in relationships is learning to recognize the difference between what is exciting and what is truly fulfilling. The wrong guy may give you a rush of excitement, but the right one will provide you with a sense of peace, security, and deep emotional connection. This is not to say that relationships should be void of passion or spontaneity, but rather that those elements should complement, rather than overshadow, the foundation of trust, communication, and emotional intimacy. The process of discovering what a healthy relationship looks like often involves painful experiences. It's through these lessons that women can learn to value themselves more and understand what they truly need from a partner. In time, they may come to realize that the wrong guy, no matter how exciting or alluring, will never offer them the kind of love that nourishes and supports them. They will come to see that true love is about balance, respect, and emotional depth. It's about being with someone who is emotionally available, who listens, who cares, and who is ready to build a life together. The emotional growth that comes from these experiences is invaluable. Women who have loved the wrong guys often emerge stronger, wiser, and more in tune with their own needs. They develop a deeper understanding of themselves and what they need in a partner. And while the journey may be filled with heartbreak and disappointment, it ultimately leads to a place where they are more equipped to recognize true love when it comes along. The emotional journey that comes with loving the wrong guy is often difficult to navigate. It can feel like a constant battle, one that is fought both within and outside. It's not just about loving someone who may not be right for you. It's about trying to reconcile the emotions that arise when that love isn't returned in the way you hope. Over time, these relationships can lead to confusion, frustration, and even self-doubt. The paradox is that even when a woman knows deep down that the relationship isn't serving her, she may find it difficult to walk away. This is a problem many women face, often questioning their own judgment, asking themselves why they can't seem to find the right person or make the right decisions. But as we unpack this, it becomes clear that loving the wrong guy is often part of a larger journey, one that is rich with lessons, growth, and self-discovery. It's about learning to navigate the complexities of attraction, self-worth, and emotional intelligence. Through these experiences, women often find that their emotional resilience strengthens, and they come to understand what it really means to value themselves. They learn that their happiness should never be tied to someone else's ability to love them in return. True happiness comes from within, and it is in knowing who you are, understanding your worth, and not settling for less than you deserve. One of the key factors in why women often fall for the wrong guys is the nature of emotional dependency. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need someone else to complete us, to make us feel whole. In the early stages of a relationship, this feeling of dependence can be disguised as passion, excitement, or even love. But as the relationship progresses, it becomes clear that what was once thrilling has turned into something far less satisfying. The emotional dependency that develops in these kinds of relationships can be harmful because it often prevents the woman from seeing things clearly. She may become so invested in the idea of the relationship or in the hope of fixing the other person that she loses sight of her own needs and desires. Emotional dependency can also stem from past experiences, perhaps a history of emotional neglect, abandonment, or even a lack of nurturing in early childhood. These past wounds can lead to a deep-seated need for validation, which is often sought in relationships that mirror the emotional patterns experienced earlier in life. Women who have experienced emotional neglect, for example, might find themselves drawn to men who are emotionally distant or unavailable because it feels familiar. They may convince themselves that with enough love, enough effort, or enough time, they can change him, just as they long to change their early caregivers. But this is where things start to unravel. Love cannot be earned or bought. It cannot be fixed or perfected. Love comes from mutual understanding, respect, and a willingness to work together. When a woman is emotionally dependent on someone who is unable to meet her emotional needs, she is setting herself up for heartbreak. The longer this dynamic persists, the more entrenched it becomes, making it even harder to break free. Eventually, the woman begins to realize that the person she is investing so much energy into is not able to reciprocate in the ways she needs. She may feel betrayed, lost, and confused. The longer this continues, the harder it becomes to walk away because by then, a significant emotional investment has been made. The feeling of wasted time becomes overwhelming. But it is crucial to recognize that time spent learning, growing, and understanding yourself is never wasted, even if the relationship did not work out. In these situations, women often begin to feel trapped in the emotional cycle of unrequited love, unable to let go of the hope that things will eventually change. But in reality, the man they are with may never be able to meet their emotional needs. This is the heartache of loving the wrong guy, a love that may seem real, but ultimately, it isn't enough to heal or fulfill the woman. It's as if she's giving her heart away, but it's never returned in the way she deserves. This is a painful realization, one that can only come through self-awareness and reflection. For women in these kinds of relationships, the breaking point often comes when they realize they are sacrificing their own happiness for the sake of someone else. They have put in the time, the energy, and the care, but still, the relationship does not give back in a meaningful way. It's a harsh truth, but an important one. And as painful as it may be, this realization can be a catalyst for personal growth and healing. What happens next is crucial. For some women, it can be the beginning of an emotional awakening. The decision to let go of a relationship that is not serving them is never easy, but it is an important step in regaining their own sense of worth and self-respect. This decision is not about blaming the other person. It is about recognizing that they are not the right match and that it is time to move on. It's about taking back control of one's own life and emotional well-being. The key here is self-love, a commitment to putting oneself first, to recognizing that one's happiness should not depend on the validation or affection of another person.